Plaintiff Terry Kellum was married to the defendant's brother when he was murdered. Terry claims after his death the defendant stole money from him, and then she refused to include Terry in the funeral arrangements. She's suing for stolen money and emotional distress. Defendant Lakeisha Williams says Terry and her brother had a tumultuous relationship, and Terry had him arrested 7 times for domestic violence. Lakeisha claims at the time of his death, Terry had a restraining order against him, and Lakeisha's suing for defamation and emotional distress.
Start with you.
I know Lakeisha because she is my late husband's sister. She did not respect, her or her family did not respect me and my husband's unity because they did not include me in on the funeral arrangement process. My husband was murdered on May 8th of this year.
Sorry to hear that.
And thank you, I appreciate that. And Lakeisha stole the money out of his pockets as well as left me and my kids out of arrangements to his funeral. My husband was murdered on May 8th of this year.
Sorry to hear that.
And thank you, I appreciate that. And Lakeisha stole the money out of his pockets as well as left me and my kids out of arrangements to his funeral.
Plaintiff Terry Kellum was married to the defendant's brother when he was murdered, but the defendant claims at the time of his death, Terry had a restraining order against him.
So how would you characterize your treatment of the plaintiff?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Terry Lynn and LaDon, my brother, they has been together for over 20 years. And during the whole 20 years, Terry Lynn have 2 kids by Don. She have 1 by somebody else. She have 1 by LaDon, then she had 1 by somebody else. During that time, from 2013 to 2019, LaDon has spent time in jail or on a run for domestic violences and TPOs. They all has been dismissed. Terry Lynn and LaDon, their relationship has been rocky from day one. I never intervened. I never stepped in their relationship. I never took sides. But I just know...
Rocky in what way?
Every which way. LaDon...
Fighting or what?
I'm not for sure if it was fighting. I just know that I was the one, every time LaDon had a domestic violence charge, I had to go be the one to get the money or either go bail him out for these false charges, and they all was dismissed.
Okay, he was never convicted of anything?
Never
How many
convicted
times
of
was he
these
charged?
charges. It's a total of 7 domestic violence, if I'm not mistaken, Your Honor. When LaDon passed away, him and Terry Lynn had a TPO. So they was together, but they never were together. LaDon passed away living with my mother.
Temporary protective order?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, before we get into the details, did you want to address any of that?
Oh, sure. Lakeisha is a liar. That, yes, me and LaDon was into it a lot. LaDon has a mental problem. He was ADHD and bipolar. Like she said, we've been together for 20 years. I met him when I was 16 years old.
Did you know that?
Yes.
That he's bipolar? And,
Yes.
Well, I don't ever being known that he's diagnosed. I guess that's something
He's been
that
diagnosed.
she's coming up with. So if she have proof, then he was
Okay.
ADHD.
Go ahead.
I've even taken him to the doctors and tried to get him on medication and everything because
How long ago was he diagnosed?
he's been diagnosed since he was a kid. He used to get checks and he was on medicine ever since he was a child. They used to crunch up his medicine and put it in his food, and she the one that told me that. So
You didn't tell her that?
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Okay, because if what you say is true, that's completely understandable what the domestic violence came from.
Exactly.
And you were being considerate enough, obviously, just to end it, because I'm sure you probably just didn't show up in court some of those times to
Right,
keep him from going to jail because you knew he had a mental illness.
yes, sir. That's
Got it. And you were hanging in there with him,
yes, I was.
doing the best you can. That's what
Yes,
it
I was.
sounds like.
And when he passed, we did have a TPO against each other, and we were going to court. He was so upset at me because I stopped talking to him because he acted out so crazy sometimes. He got so upset I wouldn't talk to him. He stabbed himself and went to the police station and told them I stabbed him. They took me to jail. I did the whole weekend in jail. When I got out, I vowed that I wouldn't even deal with him.
What happened to him?
He
With
was
the,
murdered by a
how-
16-year-old.
Give me the circumstances. What happened?
A 16-year-old kid. He, like I said, he's bipolar, so he was
Violent. He was
violent,
fighting
yes,
with the kid.
acting out arguing with the kid, and I'm not sure of the circumstances.
Was he medicated? Was he taking his medicine?
He stopped taking his medicine. He was self-medicating with street drugs.
Yep. So viewers, we all have these questions about being medicated. You can't counsel away a chemical imbalance. Bipolar is a chemical imbalance. You can't counsel that away. You go to counseling and the counselor will tell you whether you need the next step. Many people who go to counseling, they get better. But if the symptoms indicate that it's not something social, not something that happened to you, then they say, okay, time for you to go to the psychiatrist. Psychiatrist says, okay, from all you're telling me and all these symptoms, sounds like you have bipolar disorder. It sounds like or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And for those two things, sir, you have to have medicine because it has to balance out the chemicals in your head. And so all the mothers, do everything you can not to put your child on medicine. Do everything you can. But if he's headed to jail and you have tried everything short of that, take him to the psychiatrist. Psychiatrist might say, well, he needs to be medicated because if he doesn't, he'll get killed. So you all just want to educate you on that. This is very serious. It's a very serious issue we're learning more about. And African Americans in particular carry this stigma that if you go to counseling or your child goes, there's something wrong with you. Well, if you don't go, there's something wrong with you, mama. And then, oh, he been eating too much sugar. It's the candy.
It's the candy.
Don't give him so much candy. And he won't be jumping around. No, it's serious, so get it checked out. Parents, don't you be negligent. Do your part. Americans in particular carry the stigma that if you go to counseling or your child goes, there's something wrong with you. Well, if you don't go, there's something wrong with you, mama. And then, oh, he been eating too much sugar.
Plaintiff Terry Kellum was married to the defendant's brother when he was murdered, but the defendant claims at the time of his death, Terry had a restraining order against him.
Tell me why you're suing about money and emotional distress.
My late husband, he had $2,578 in his pockets. Lakeisha and also her aunt, they signed the papers to release his body and they got the money out of his pockets. They claimed it was, they used it for the funeral. I wanted to be there, I tried to be there. We were supposed to meet up at 10 o'clock to go do it. I called Trish's phone, like, where y'all at? Trish was very rude to me. Lakeisha was very rude to me. We out handling business. You out talking about you got stuff to do with your kids. Just talking crazy to me. And I lost my voice because I had no sleep. I didn't eat. I just was crying straight for 2 days. So I'm like, why is you yelling at me? I just wanted to know where y'all at because I'm on my way. I want to be there. I want to be there every step of the way to know what's going on with my husband. Well, we handling business. We out pricing stuff. We got 4 more funeral homes to go to. So I'm like, okay. So we got off the phone. I went home, I wiped my face, I calmed myself down. I called them back. It was about 12 o'clock at this time. I said, where y'all at? They said, we at this funeral home. I was like, well, okay, I'm on my way. You don't got to come up here. All you need to do is tell this man on the phone that it's okay for to accept the money. And I was like, don't he need to see my ID? Don't I need to sign something? I'm his wife. Well, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. So I'm like, I'm on my way. I hung up. As I'm on my way, they had the funeral home director, which they have a personal relationship with this funeral home director. That's why he allowed them to sign the paperwork.
How is it that you want them to repay the money? Tell me what happened there. They took the money out of his pocket.
Yes.
So you want it as his next of kin,
right.
You're entitled to it.
Yes, but they claimed that it went toward the funeral. I wouldn't have never had a problem. I would have made sure the money went toward the funeral if that's what it was needed for. But the aunt here, Trish, she called me on a knife and told me, Terry Lynn, everything's paid for. You ain't got to worry about nothing. I got over $10,000. They love your husband. People pulling up on me, handing me money by the thousands. They love your husband. I'm going to even take you and your kids on the trip after the funeral.
Your Honor.
You want to stand up, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
State your name.
Patricia Williams.
What do you want to say?
She's lying from the part about I called her and said we collect the money. We didn't collect a dime for no one. Our family came together and paid for his whole funeral. Okay. She's worried about $2,500. We paid over $10,000 for this man's funeral.
If it was all paid for, what happened to the $2,578?
It went towards the funeral too.
So When you told her $10,000, that was after you had put the money in from out of his pocket?
Yes, all of it totaled up
She
to like
shook her head no.
$9,000.
Yes, that's true.
She said yeah,
That's
and she
true.
said no.
No, I'm saying from the beginning to the end, the story that Terry Lynn told is not true.
Your Honor, Trish did come to my house. When she was at my house, another relative, he's a business owner, and he accumulates money or whatever. So he called and said, whatever the price is, I'm paying for the whole thing. So not only did they collect the money from the people, the donations that people gave them, the cousin paid for the whole thing, as well as they went in my husband's pocket.
Let me hear you all defend what she's alleging regarding her wanting the money that was in her husband's pocket.
Your Honor.
And then your counterclaim, yes.
When LaDon passed away, May 8th, we asked Terry Lynn the next day, did she have life insurance? She stated that her family, her mom might have it. Then she said that she did not have life insurance. So me and my sister took action and did what we need to do to come up with money to bury LaDon. Whatever the money that LaDon had on him, like we stated to the funeral home man, whatever money he had on him, you can put that towards the funeral and we'll cover the remaining balance.
Your counterclaim is for what?
Your Honor, my counter sue is for $1,200. I am suing because in the process of us paying for this whole funeral, I also gave Terry Lynn a total of $1,220 after the funeral was paid for, just so her and her kids be able to have something to wear to the funeral.
$1,220.
It was $1,000.
She gave me $1,000.
It was $1,000. It was $1,000 for her cash. I gave her $200 to pay her mom for the church, and I gave her $20 for gas right after he passed away.
Your Honor, that's a lie. She only gave me $1,000, and she said she said, I got $1,000 for you today, and I'll give you the rest of the money from them taking the money out of his pocket.
I gave it to her so her and her kids would be able to have something to wear to the funeral, Your Honor.
That was a gift, huh?
It was a gift, sir. After we paid this whole total, almost $10,000 funeral for my brother, because she wanted to get the money out of his pocket.
How much did you put on the funeral?
I put probably like $2,600 out of that total.
$2,500? And then
and so Terry Lynn.
Hold on, I'm asking the questions. Okay, so you put $2,500 on that? Mm-hmm. You put $1,200 in her pocket? She said $1,000, but you said $1,200. So you did more than anybody, unless you could tell me somebody else that spent $3,700.
Plaintiff Terry Kellum was married to the defendant's brother when he was murdered, but the defendant claims at the time of his death, Terry had a restraining order against him.
All right, and your counterclaim is for what?
$1,200.
For what?
The money that I gave her.
You said it was a gift. You said gave.
It was
You
a
said
gift.
gave.
I
Remember
gave her
gift?
the money because she feel like she was entitled to.
First of all, ma'am, after you told me you gave her that $1,000 and $200, you convinced me right then that you took that money off of her husband. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed.
There's not a family. I hope she can find it in her heart to buy my brother a headstone with the money that she was granted.
We don't need them. My kids are going to be successful. They're smart. They're brilliant. They way better than them. They're weird.
You had sex with my son.
With their own brother, his cousin. You down there seeing him now. You infidelity with his cousin.
You mad or not? You mad or not?
Don wasn't dead 30 days, and you running down to the judge there seeing his cousin.
Plaintiff Thomas Dwyer is a magician and an ordained minister, and he met the defendant in a production class. Thomas claims he loaned the defendant $160, but he has yet to be repaid, so he's suing. Defendant Timothy Valianatos says he started taking production courses because he wanted to follow his dream of becoming a talk show host. Timothy believes he's only here today because Thomas wants to promote his magic show, and he's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
My name is Reverend Thomas Dwyer.
Right.
I'm a magician, and David Copperfield and Eugene Berger are my two sponsors in the International Brotherhood of Magicians.
All right.
And I'd like to show you a magic trick. Real short.
Okay.
May I?
Yes.
No other magician's seen this. It's a real quick trick. Name any playing card.
Ace of spades.
That's an easy one. That's a real easy one, Your Honor. Right here, Ace of spades right up on top. But if you can see, it's the only red back card in a blue back deck.
Wow.
That's good.
Can we do another one or not? All right,
Later,
go ahead.
afterwards. But
Go
what I'd like to
ahead.
do, what I'd like to present to you, this is the trick. And it's the secrets inside, and I'd like to give Judge Mathis
man.
this. There's only 8 people. You're the number 8th person that has this trick. Both of these tricks are copyrighted. So when I give it to you, you have copyright management. You can make anybody else that's doing it stop.
All right, thank you. Wow.
Hold it by here.
Now,
There you go.
okay.
There you go.
This is a great gift. One of the more frustrating things I encounter is the inability to figure out magic. I mean, I just can't figure. I have never been able to figure out one. You're telling me this is the real deal. It's going to tell
Yes,
them.
sir.
Particularly that, what you
And
just
there's
did.
2
How in the
tricks in
world
there,
you
Your
figure
Honor.
out what card within 2 seconds of asking me?
Well, Your Honor, I've been watching your show for a long time, and I kind of got the feeling of how you think about things. And so this morning, what I did is I got my red deck, and I said, I was watching one of your old shows, and I said, which ones would he do? That's the one.
No, you
That's
didn't.
No way.
I'm going to read it here. That's
Honor.
not what
I'm
it
trying to
is.
be as honest as I can be.
Yeah, magicians are never honest. That's all they do is sleight of hand.
Okay.
Oh, you guys are con men.
Say that.
Well, one of those tricks in there I know will be great for you, Your Honor. And if you'd like, I can show you later, or you can call up any one of the magic shops. And have them
I
show
want you to show me if you got a minute after the case.
Yes, sir.
All right, now that's the magic. Now I want a sermon now.
Well, here we go.
You say you were a reverend too.
Yes, I am,
Oh, yeah.
Reverend.
Right?
I was ordained in 2012,
All right.
October 31st.
You're going to have to hoop.
Yes, sir. I am a practicing
love the
Catholic.
Lord. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. You got to have that.
Okay.
Now, don't come in here if you don't have your hoop right. Yes, sir. No, I will move on because I don't want us to play with God, and that might be the case.
Plaintiff Thomas Dwyer is suing his friend for an unpaid loan. But the defendant claims Thomas only brought him here to get free publicity for his magic show.
How do you know this gentleman?
Well, years ago, I decided to start what I'm calling the Chicagoland Magic and Variety Show, which will allow amateur magicians, jonglers, puppeteers, and mimes to get an opportunity to be in a television show, which they normally would not be able to afford. And they will also get a demo on the whole thing.
Now, is there a thing to get into where I could learn?
Yes, sir. And you could come on the public television show, and you could.
I want to do this for seniors and kids. It's hard for me to have fun because I'm such a public figure, but this sounds like that'd be a
TV
lot
star.
of fun. Public figure. All right. Now we're going to talk about that too.
Okay.
So this gentleman, you had a class or you had an opportunity?
We had a
for...
studio production class, which basically you go and learn everything all about all this great stuff. And because we had a whole bunch in our class, a couple of us took turns to be the talent. So Timmy was my host, and he introduced me, and we got the teleprompter rolling. And I went and presented my Chicagoland Magic and Television Show proposal, and that was the proof of concept, the interview. And now I'm hoping to take it to the next step and get it out there.
Okay,
So
and him?
amateur. Yeah, Tim is a great guy.
Okay.
Timmy has was doing talk shows, and he had fantastic talk shows.
Let me allow you to tell me about yourself, sir.
Well, my name's Tim Vallanatos. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I like to say that I've already had 2 lives in one lifetime.
Okay.
My early life, I was a hairdresser for 13 years, and then after that, I ended up working here in Chicago with the poorest of the poor. The reincarcerated people reentering on the west side of Chicago. I worked there for 17 years. They did not give us a lot of money, but when you're helping someone, it's not all about money. But I worked there for 17 years as a development director.
Okay. You enjoyed that?
I loved the work, except after 17 years, it was mentally, emotionally draining, exhausting. So I decided when we actually went bankrupt because the state of Illinois owed us so much money in back payments. And I realized at that time that I was going to have another life in this lifetime. I was going to follow my dream and become the talk show host that I wanted to do. Can TV gave me the opportunity to be able to do that.
Okay. And you enjoyed it, and you're still doing it. What happened ultimately?
Before the last week of the class, I found myself in the hospital. I have a rare genetic gene called Lynch syndrome. Like 1 in every 7 Americans has Lynch syndrome and don't even know it. And it's attached to cancer. I personally am susceptible to 60 different types of cancer. So I had to have my whole entire colon removed. I did show up the last day of class.
How do you know you're susceptible to 60?
Well, because I went to the genetic, UIC, the genetic center there. They tested my blood. I have both Lynch 1 and Lynch 2. It does,
Based on their genetic analysis?
Genetic analysis.
I've heard they can do that.
Right. Well, I will say this. I just went for my
You gotta tell us something else to do.
my year
other than
follow up,
Huh?
and luckily there was no cancer in the
Excellent,
polyps.
excellent,
So,
excellent. And this is your friend. You might want to thank him for that. As I think about it, magic.
Magic. Well, it was God.
One of the two. He's a minister and he's a magician.
How about that?
So he had 2 ways that he could make it go away.
Okay.
He could pray, or he could perform some magic and make them disappear.
Absolutely.
I believe more so in the healing based
Me
on
too.
prayer.
Plaintiff Thomas Dwyer is suing his friend for an unpaid loan. But the defendant claims Thomas only brought him here to get free publicity for his magic show.
What loan has he failed to pay you for?
It was a $160 loan. Mm-hmm. And I loaned it to him on the...
Yeah, there's court costs, okay?
Yeah, there's court costs, yes, sir. I loaned it to him on the 20th of September, and he said he could pay me back the next day.
Of 18?
Of 18, yes, sir. And,
Said he could pay you back the next day.
yes, sir.
And obviously you didn't get it.
No, sir.
Did you get any of it?
No, sir.
When you last spoke with him, what has he said?
He said he was going to pay, but I understood Timmy's situation, health situation, so I gave him time. Gave him a lot of time, and I didn't want to have to wait till his taxes came back.
And that's what you know when you're told that it's not happening. So what do you say to this, sir?
Well, I do believe that there was a loan made between me and Tom Dwyer. And one thing happened right after another. I had my colon removed, and then within 30 days, I was having my gallbladder removed. And I was in and out of the hospital very, very sick. I made several attempts to try to pay the loan back to Tom Dwyer. I have a letter from my neighbor who was there as well. And I also have the text messages where...
That means you still want to pay him, though?
Well, the text messages where he says, "We would be great on TV. Please just call me. Let's go on Judge Mathis so I can promote my magic show and my ambitions. I want us to just go on the magic show. Timmy, you're a good man failing in difficult times. I'd rather just go on the TV show. We can shake hands at the end and be friends."
All right, yeah, because the advertisement you're getting is worth a lot more than the $160 that you owe him.
And then I said, "Is this really what you want? Send." He said, "No, please call me. Please call me."
Well, let me see that. Because the essence of that, sir, is that you waived the repayment of the loan if you could get on my show.
That was him
That's
texting
my
that
point.
to me. Yeah.
And you're here.
No, sir. The reason why...
Why did you say that then? Let's go
Honey
on Judge
over
Mathis and
vinegar.
everything would be all right.
Honey over vinegar. I needed my money back, and after 7 months...
No, you needed to get on here. And
No,
after
sir, I did
7
not
months,
need-
you got on
If he
here.
paid me the next day, we wouldn't be here.
I understand. Well, I just read your text saying.
I understand.
All
And
right,
as soon
well,
as
I hope
after
you
7
understand
months,
that's why
I
you're
saw
not
on
getting any
television-
money. Now you perform some magic on that.
Also, Your Honor. And I was countersuing Tom for emotional distress.
For what?
Because of the phone calls. I made several attempts. My grandmother just passed
To do
away,
what? Several phone calls to do what?
to try to get me to come on the show.
So you could have blocked his number or something. I can't grant you
did.
money because he called too often.
Okay.
All right, I'm like I said, do a little magic myself now. I'm gonna make that judgment
I have
go
the
away.
IOU from him.
I know, sir. All of that is
I'm sorry.
beautiful. But you waived all
No,
of that.
sir.
You forgave the
No, I
loan
did not.
when you said we can just
No.
go on Judge Mathis. That's
Either
relevant
that- no,
because
it's
that's
on
the
that- yeah,
condition.
I got
you
it,
gave
Your
that
Honor.
to
I
him as a
said-
condition. I read
I
very
wanted you
well.
to
I
go to
know
small
contracts.
claims
All
court.
right, watch me disappear. Both your claims dismissed.
I have nothing to say other than I have a great deal of respect for Red,
Yep.
and I hope that we can move forward as human beings. The judge spoke.